The Jets were big moneyline winners in Week 8. They upset the Bengals at home. That line closed at 11.5. The upset win meant that if you were brave enough to bet New York to win, you would have gotten back $475 on a $100 bet. Cincy was riding at 5-2. First place in the AFC before that loss, and it happened to be one of John Breech's picks last week. Even got ahead of it when it opened at 9.5 to get a better number before it got to 10, but still a winning week. 3-2, we're always going to take that. Lions were the other loser, but Breech did hit on Titans, Steelers, and Cowboys. Overall record to date, 19-16 against the spread. Time to do it again. John Breech, Pick Six Pod, super friend, joining us here on CBS Sports HQ. So let's start with Cleveland at Cincinnati. Bengals looking to come back and recover a little bit, laying the 3. What do you like?
It's the Battle of Ohio, Tommy, and it actually means something. You don't ever see this where both these teams are 500 or higher when they're playing this late in the season. But you know what? The one thing about this game for me is Baker Mayfield. Since he got injured a few weeks ago against the Cardinals, the Browns' offense has gone in the toilet. They have been absolutely horrible in the past 3 games. They've scored 10 points, 17 points, 14 points. It has been ugly to watch. So I don't think they're going to be able to keep up with the Bengals. The big question for me is the Browns' defense, Myles Garrett, are they going to be able to do enough to slow down the Bengals to keep this from turning into a shootout? I do think Myles Garrett can give the Bengals fits, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Despite the Bengals burning me last week, I am sticking with them and taking them to cover the 3 points here against the Browns.
All right, you're looking for that bounce-back performance. Moving to the next game, New England at Carolina this week.
If we learned one thing about Sam Darnold during his time with the Jets, it's that he has no idea what he's doing when he is facing a Bill Belichick defense. It's almost unfair to put Darnold up against the Belichick defense. He went 0-3 against the Patriots when he was in New York. He threw 6 interceptions, just 1 touchdown. 2 years ago, Belichick had him seeing ghosts on the field. That is how good Belichick's defense is against Darnold. I think we're going to see more of the same thing. Sure, he might be in a new setting, but that's not going to change the fact that he's going to come out, likely be confused once again by a Patriots defense. I have a hard time seeing the Panthers score very many points in this game because of that. And you know what? Mac Jones has played well enough that I'm going to stay on the Mac Jones train and take the Patriots to cover the 3.5 here.
All right, so you're saying don't be afraid of the hook. And then we have the Patriots in back-to-back road games. They did beat the Chargers last week, and again on the road at Carolina. Again, Breech liking the Patriots there. Moving on to Minnesota at Baltimore. What do you like here?
Yeah, this is interesting because you know who hasn't been able to figure out Lamar Jackson? Any team in the NFC. Lamar has started 11 games in his career against NFC teams. He is 11-0 straight up. Now, he's not 11-0 covering the spread, but the Ravens just play so well because their offense is so unique. It's hard to prepare for them when you only watching film on them once every 4 years, which is what you're doing if you're an NFC team. They're just a shock to the system of a defense if you don't see this offense very often. I think Lamar Jackson is going to have an absolutely huge day. And after coming off that tough loss against the Cowboys, I think the Vikings are going to get hammered once again. I'm going to take the Ravens to cover the 5.5.
All right, laying at 5.5 there. We got the Chargers. I mentioned their game with the Patriots. They're on the road this time at Philly in a short number.
Yeah, here's my problem with Philly is that, hey, look, great win last week, Eagles against the Lions, 44-6. Got the run game going. It was all impressive. But anytime Philadelphia has had to play a team this year that is 500 or better, they just haven't done well. They lose. That's what it boils down to. They've got steamrolled by the Chiefs, the Cowboys. Both of those games, they gave up more than 40 points. They just struggle against good teams. To me, the Chargers are a good team. I think the Chargers get back on track after losing to New England last week. And I really like LA in this spot, especially with this small point spread. So I'm going to take them to cover the 2.5.
All right. And lastly, here in terms of the games, Arizona at San Francisco, also another one, short number.
Yeah, we saw these two teams play back in week 5, and it was a surprisingly close game. Of Arizona's 7 wins this year, that was the only one where they didn't score more than 30 points. They only scored 17. I actually thought the 49ers outplayed them that week, except it was Trey Lance's first start, and I just felt like he made too many mistakes. He had an interception. They failed on 4th down, I think 4 times. And so now they're going to have Jimmy Garoppolo back. They might have George Kittle back. They're not going to have J.J. Watt, who terrorized the 49ers in that first game. And Kyler Murray's on a bum ankle this week. And when you take away his mobility, that's such a huge part of his game that I think that's going to be a big thing for the 49ers and their defense and able to slow Murray down. So I actually like the 49ers, not just to cover here, but to pull off the upset.
All right, before I let you go, you guys talked about the Chiefs on the Pick Six podcast. They are a cover nightmare if you're betting for them. What do you think about KC at the moment?
I mean, you know what is funny is that 24 hours ago, they were favored by 2.5 over the Packers, and now the Packers are a favorite in that game. So that tells you what the odds makers think. That tells you what the public thinks. If you read my picks on CBSSports.com, I've actually got 6 straight games correct against the spread with them. And it's because just fade the Chiefs. Whatever you're thinking, fade the Chiefs. Their offense is struggling. Defense is playing this cover 2. They're not letting Mahomes throw downfield. He doesn't like the dink and dunk. So they're going to have to switch up their offense a little bit to get things going. So right now, playing the Packers, I am going to take Green Bay and the Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes showdown that we've been waiting 3 years for.
Love it. 5 picks and then a bonus topic there from John Breech. John, certainly appreciated. Thank you, my man. Again, giving us his plays there. You can check him out at CBSSports.com as well. In terms of the Pick Six podcast, host Will Brinson, R-Dub, our draft guru, and Breech talking about Kansas City, among other things. And Brinson, does he still insist on betting them to win the AFC West? You'll have to check in, find out, download, and follow today.
Want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis. No yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.